national identity card with citizen identification numbers in 3 years. Now this is very important because each time we wish to have an identity, we have to take out our PAN card or ration card or passport or some other identification. There will be a PAN national identification which will be just cut. Now each time I wish to identify myself, for example in the government office, I have to take out a passport or a ration card or some PAN card or a student's identity card. What really was required, and again this was an idea which was mooted by the NDA government, which was to have a national identification card. That means whoever I am, if I am a citizen of this country and whatever class, sect, state I may belong to, I will have an identification number, and that identification number will be my primary identification as a citizen of India. And this obviously is a very cumbersome procedure. It will require datification of all the citizens of the country, and in 3 years, this is ADVANI ji's vision, in 3 years it will be completed. National Mission for Promotion of IT in Indian Languages. Yes, there is one question which always people ask. Why do we have everything in English? Why do we not have a pan-Indian approach across languages for the IT vision? So this is also being proposed that the IT sector stuff will be available in most Indian languages, including the regional languages and Hindi. And India to equal China in every parameter in 5 years. Now this is a very, very interesting vertical that we are looking at. This is a promise, this is a vision that Mr. ADVANI has, that whatever China is doing in IT today and is being discussed the world over, we will match that parameter in the next 5 years. Now, remain on the slide. IT actually touches every Indian. It's not just the corporate sector or the bankers or the venture capitalists. Every single sector of society is connected to IT today. If we look at the European countries, if we were to look at America, we would come across countries which have actually attempted learning processes, governance processes only through IT. And how does this happen? E-education. That means education will get empowered, will have an IT vision. As we said, internet connectivity, and through internet data, education will happen. E-bhasha. That is, every possible Indian language of the country will be IT enabled, or IT will be enabled with every possible language of the country. E-governance, whatever is happening in the government and governance related issues will be connected to IT. E-security, national security will be beefed up, will become very empowered if the IT vision that Mr. ADVANI has gets connected to it. E-justice. E-justice is very important because the legal records need also digitization. We have thousands and millions of cases which are lying, don't come to me. We have thousands and millions of cases which are lying in files, drowning in clerical government offices. They actually need to be also IT enabled. E-development, all development processes, all development techniques connected to IT. E-banking, of course, we know this is the age of the ATM, this is the age of internet connectivity. Not just net banking, also other services of banking could be related to IT. E-records, yes. First, the national identification number that is connected to the IT vision, and also digitization of records. There is a very big hue and cry which we've been having for so many years about digitizing land records. One of the biggest reasons for feuds in families, for feuds in social societies, the land records, if they get digitized on a click of a button, anybody who's the owner of some land title somewhere in the country would be available, and that information is in public domain. E-safety, we need to be more safer, and that safety is related. E-safety, yes, the safety and the security of the country has to be IT enabled. It has to be, there has to be connectivity with all the enforcement agencies of security, etc. And e-health, another very dynamic, important vertical. We had said that today surgeries can actually be performed. For example, a surgeon sitting in a hospital in Bangalore should be able to connect to somebody who's trying to do a bypass in Delhi, not trying to doing a bypass in Delhi, who's also a doctor, And that kind of connectivity can not just bring the primary health situation of the country, make it more cohesive. Also in rural areas, for example in mobile vans, where we do not have that kind of health connectivity, this can be of great help, and this can also be one of the most pioneering dynamic spheres of looking at health in the country. So the vision of the BJP, the vision of Mr. Advani is a strong India, a India which is morally, economically and militarily strong. We should be respected around the world as a leading responsible country. We have had various questions being asked each time there's a terror attack. People around the world, the international community gets together, does pontificate, does think about what India is going through, but they also look at the level of responsibility we have towards the country, towards our country. If there is a cricket match which is supposed to happen during a time where the country is going to face elections, are these two verticals disassociated from each other? Which means if there will be cricket, there will be no elections. And if there will be elections, there will be probably no sports. What is the kind of vision or what is the kind of governance which does such a thing? Recreation and sports are an intrinsic part of public life. They are a part of your life and my life. And elections are also a responsibility and also an important part of a nation's consciousness. Is it so diametrically opposite to each other that we cannot be responsible enough to have the two verticals coexist? I think this is again a question this country is asking right now. Prosperous India, life of dignity to all sections of society will have dignity of life, financial safety net for all, the sections of society which need empowerment, which need a financial safety net. In the era of the global meltdown, there are verticals of society which need some kind of financial stability, and the government is responsible and should be responsible to give it to them. Startups and businesses must be able to establish and grow freely. Yes, there are people who are entrepreneurs. We've always been a country of entrepreneurs, people who are doing startups, who are doing new businesses. They should be able to establish and they should be able to grow freely, and this is also a part of the duty of the government. Government's role is to facilitate and help in wealth creation and wealth distribution. Yes, wealth needs to be created. Yes, people do earn big money in this country. Yes, we are emerging as one of the biggest economic superpowers in this region. But along with wealth creation, wealth distribution is equally important. Wealth should be distributed equally. It should also be distributed to its citizens for their progress and for their growth. Resurgent India. How will India become resurgent? All citizens and groups are equal. There is no disparity, no discrimination on either sex, caste, religion, cadre, state, or whatever social structure you belong to. All citizens and groups are equal. India's heritage of tolerance and respect for all must be protected. India provides leadership to the world in all areas. We are a country which has been called the Vishwa Guru. We are a country which has been called a world leader. And yes, in all areas, whether social or economic or spiritual or art or culture, if we are a Vishwa Guru, we have to take that responsibility and tell the world that yes, we are world leaders in all areas. Meritocratic India, there has to be equal opportunity of all to all with affirmative action to the neglected and equal access to social infrastructure. If a child is from a social